Being a husband and father is one of the greatest responsibilities that you can have as a man, but it's also one of the most important. Today, I want to give you some biblical and practical examples on how you can lead your family as a man of God. 1 Corinthians 11:3 says that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is man, and the head of Christ is God. God has designed men to be leaders in the family. That role is the sacrificial role, one that, if followed right, we follow Jesus' example on what that looks like. I didn't finally understand what that meant until only recently in my marriage. The sacrifice, the way Jesus sacrificed, knowing that everybody was going to betray him, knowing that, Peter was going to deny him, that Judas was going to turn him in, he still walked with them. So why can't I do that? When you think about that and try and have that perspective in your marriage, it definitely changes things. It makes the arguments very minuscule. It makes the things that you get upset over look a little different. As a man of God, you're called to lead spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And it all starts with your relationship with Jesus. Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Leadership in the home isn't about control. It's about sacrifice. Jesus is our model. He gave himself up for the church. As husbands, we're called to lay down our lives for our wives. As husbands, we need to love our wives more effectively, not efficiently. As men, we want to be efficient in everything we do, but sometimes that leaves our relationships to suffer. You want to lead with kindness, provide for your wife's needs, and be present emotionally, which for a lot of men can be very difficult, especially in today's day and age. You get a lot of guys that just try and stuff down their emotions and their feelings, but we're the ones that need to be on top of that. We need to be the ones that have our emotions in check and that we're not blowing up in front of our wife and kids. We want to create a safe environment for them. Your children need to see love in action. 1 Corinthians 11:1 says, "Follow my example as I follow the example of Christ." As the leader of the home, everybody's going to be following your lead. And if you want your family to follow Christ, you're going to need to be following Jesus yourself. Trust me, when they see the man taking time to read and pray, they'll see that and they'll want to walk alongside with you in that as well. Spiritual leadership isn't just about going to church. It's about creating a home with God at the center of it, with God at the center of everything you do. And what are some ways that you can do that? Well, for me, in the mornings when I come home, I try to at least read one verse with my family before we're off to doing whatever it is that we need to do. Taking them to school, getting ready for the day, but keeping God there in all we do. And when we come home, try and spend some more time doing that. Kids will read, I'll read, and then at night, we'll pray before we go to sleep. Christian men, do not put that weight on your wives. Your wife is not supposed to be the spiritual leader. They're not supposed to be the priest. You are. You're called to that priestly duty. Lead your family to Jesus. Take that time to pray with them. Take that time to read the word with them. That means you watching your favorite show, ditch the show. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, "Anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever." Protection isn't just about physical stuff. It's about their spiritual needs, emotional needs. You're called to protect all those aspects of their lives. And what does that look like practically? Well, you set boundaries. How much time are we spending on our phones? How much time are we spending looking at a screen? And we ourselves need to be disciplined in that area. We have to also practice what we preach. We're telling our kids, hey, get off the phone, get off the game. We ourselves need to be in that same mode. We need to be doing that same stuff. Otherwise, your kids are going to end up resenting you for it. They'll grow up and they'll say, yeah, my dad just told me what to do, and even the things that he told me to do, he didn't do himself. Like, is that really what you want? I know I don't. And don't get me wrong, I do find myself sometimes like, oh man, I told my kids to get off the games and here I am on my phone. Like, nah, let's do something together as a family, play a card game, run around the house with them. And when you do all those things, you're making the environment safe for them. You're leading by example. So being the leader in your home is crucial. It's so important. Very serious calling. But you're not alone. And with Christ as your foundation, you can love, guide, and protect your family the way God intended. So what's one way that you can step up as a spiritual leader in your family? Go ahead and drop it down in the comments. So if you found this video helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe and share it with a friend. And download our 7-day biblical discipline challenge. That's going to be down in the description. And join our Discord to help build those biblical habits that will strengthen your role as a father. I hope this word found you well. Be blessed.